2318 meeting of Rotary Club Chandigarh Midtown is called to order. Please raise your hand for the national anthem. I request the members and Rotarians to raise their hand for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हिंद भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow Rotarians, Rotarians, and guests. And chief guest of the evening, Rotarian Alex Maxim. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I now hand over the meeting to the acting president, Nitin Kapoor, Rotarian Nitin Kapoor.
A very good evening to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good evening to all of you. And in the absence of our president, Mr. Salil Chopra, I am presiding this meeting. A warm welcome to our friend, Mr. Alex Maxim. Alex, I think you speak Spanish. So, de nada from our side, gracias por venir from India. In India, in English, it means you are welcome. Thanks for coming, Mr. Alex Maxim. Now I hand over the meeting to our secretary, Mr. Baba sir, for further proceedings.
Thank you, Vice President Nitin Kapoor ji. A very good evening to all the participants and our guest speaker for the evening, Rotarian Maxim. Today, we can straight away start the meeting. We can request Mr. Anand to introduce the guest speaker.
Thank you very much.
Over to Anand Saab.
Thank you very much. Rotarian Alex Maxim, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Chandigarh Midtown, I welcome you here as our guest speaker this evening. I understand the topic is going to be Rotary Family Fellowship. This is a project which, of course, I've been very actively engaged with as a Rotarian over the last 30, 40 years. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce you as the immediate past president of the Rotary E-Club of Fusion Latina from Trujillo, Peru. And you're living in Seattle, which again is something very interesting for us, that in this international age, your club is in Peru, but you're living in Seattle and with your family, your wife, Ileana, and you have 2 daughters and your grandfather. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce a person with your experience as a professional architect and an IT project manager to be managing your E-Club. And very much we should encourage all our Rotarians to become part of these Rotary programs. I welcome you to this meeting of the Rotary Club of Chandigarh Midtown.
Thank you very much. And good morning. Well, for us and those that are witnessing, that are sitting here and from the United States, it's morning. And I know it's nighttime or 6:30, 7 o'clock out in India. So hopefully we'll be able to sort of span the time frames. Also, I'd like to, well, again, I want to say good evening to your whole club, to all your members, to the current president, past presidents, any governors that may be present with us. All of you very welcome, and thank you very much for your invitation. When I got this request to speak was about 3 or 4 days ago, and I didn't really quite know exactly how to feel this. So I hope that what I talked to you about will link in, will connect to what you were expecting on the call. But of course, at the end, I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. I'll try to answer them, and we can go from there. So if I may share my screen.
Yeah. Alex, I'm
Okay.
making you co-host so you can share your screen.
Thank you. So what I'd like to do is, as we start, is to introduce you briefly to our group. There are a couple of people here on the screen that are members to our club. Mario Garcia and also Maria Isabel Rodriguez and Rosalba Bajardo also are here with me tonight. So you can see my screen now. It sort of says Espacios de Socios.
Yeah, Alex.
Excellent. Okay. So briefly, this is our website. It's in Spanish, but I'll go through just a couple of the pages so you get to meet us a little bit. First off, I'd like you to meet some of our members. And as you can see, it's a wonderful group of great looking members. But the two things that I wanted to draw your attention to on this is our members here. You'll see underneath this says what their professions are. So we have Luis is a lawyer, I'm an architect, Jorge is architect, Ophir our IS systems and current president of the club. So she's going to be represented, we're representing her through this presentation here tonight. Also, I want you to notice under each name, there's a country. So that's one of the things that I want to sort of stress in our conversation tonight is the fact that we do represent different countries. I represent, not only do I live in the United States, but I'm also Venezuelan as a national. I was born in Venezuela. Most of our members are from Peru. As you can see here, more Peru over here. And then here we start to go into some more international fields like Colombia, Mexico, where we have Mario, Isabel, and also Rosalba, who are sitting here and present in our meeting. And we also have some more Peruvians in Mexico. So we have a total of about 21 members, and located primarily in Peru, in Trujillo, Peru. But we're all interrelating, constantly meeting together. We've always been virtual. As you can see, our name is E-Club Fusión Latina. So the E-Club has been there since 2016. And the name Fusión Latina, of course, would be the Latin fusion of the countries in Latin America. Now I'd like to talk to you about some of the projects that we do with a sort of a more of an international outlook. The first one that I want to share with you is, let's see, projects. I wanted to mention that when we started the year, the Rotary year, we had a project workshop where we created a strategic plan of what we wanted to do this year. And we sat down, we had a brainstorming session, and we came up with several topics. One of them was we were still living through the COVID-19 epidemic. We were all locked in, we couldn't get out. And, obviously we needed psychological help. So we gathered, at least in Peru, with government agencies that you see here named here, the Gerencia Regional de Salud, Colegio de Psicología, and the Gerencia Regional de Educación, different government bodies. And with them, we came up with this plan of a questionnaire where people could put their names in, and if they have any problems or any issues or any requests, they could fill this form out. And this went to these organisms that I just mentioned up here. And so that was one of our projects that we did. Most of this was local, but the idea is to take this model and use it also in other countries, mostly in Mexico. Another project that came up out of our brainstorming and thinking and planning was working with girls, the empowerment of girls. So let me just go to there. So for us, it's very important to empower women in general, but we got to start with the younger women, which would be the children. So we have created a program of empowering girls. And the beauty of this program is that it's not only in Peru, but it's also being executed or being formed in Mexico and in Peru. So both countries are being represented in this project. And the third project I wanted to show you, let's go back. Is here we go. We have one of our members has been pursuing a education for very, very young children, starting at about 9 and 10 years old. And so far, we've created a sort of what I'm calling a trilogy, or 3 different projects that started about 3 years ago. And we're now on the 3rd phase. So in the first one, we tried out an educational plan for children, or an assistance plan for children. It was a beginning, it was a prototype. So then we went to the 2nd year, and the 2nd year we did a project called Cuentos para el Mundo, which is Stories for the World. And that was in full COVID period, when the children were locked in their houses. They couldn't get out, there was no school. So we figured, well, but children can still write. So we spread this program across all the most of the Latin American countries and Spain. So all the Spanish-speaking countries were invited, and which was 20 different countries, and plus Spain. So all of these 21 countries had representatives, Rotary representatives, that interacted with these children and allowed them the opportunity to write stories, and those were gathered and evaluated by an international panel of writers from Argentina, from other countries. And that gave the children the opportunity to sort of express themselves and express what they were going through. So this was the 2nd of the trilogy. And then the 3rd one is the one that you're seeing in front of you right now. And it's following, again, the 21 countries, as you can see the flags that are being represented here. And you'll see the title, if I can get this out of the way, is the Rotarian Projects in Latin America and Spain in Education. So all of this is based on education of the children. And on this one, the title of this is Uniendo Fronteras, so which is uniting borders, sharing culture, and sowing the future. So these are 3 elements, very key elements of these projects. And now that we're in the 3rd year, after the 2nd successful year, now we're in the process of fulfilling this one, where one of the goals is to sow 1 million trees in all of these countries. And we're requiring that each country try to sow 48,000 trees per country. And that way we can get to the 1 million. The project is going very, very well. And it's not just an environmental project that we're doing, but it's also an educational program. So the idea is that out of the education, there's all the sowing and the planting of all these trees really has to do with educating the children so that they really know why, how things grow. And as you can see here, these are the flags, the children and all the different countries. Rotary, Rotaract, Interact, all of them are participating in this. And let's see. And then one of the results that's going to come out of here, obviously the trees will be growing, and that's a very important part. But also we're going to have every 4 months, we're going to issue out a digital magazine of what's going on in certain countries, what's going on with certain schools, what's going on with certain children, accompanied by another digital document, which is an encyclopedia. So as they plant all these trees, they're also going to learn from what they're doing. So those are projects that I wanted to share with you. I also would like to, if we can share, I have a video of another project. We have our first global grant is it's still in draft mode. We haven't got the funds yet, the complete funds, but I'd like to share with you a video. It's a 5-minute video of this project that we're doing to help the Peruvian farmers of the Andes and their milk processing, dairy processing plants. So let me just get to that. Okay, I'm going to. Can you see the video? It's about to start. Can you all see the economic development of rural communities? Hello? Could somebody confirm that you are able to see this video?
Yes, yes, we are able to see, Alex.
Excellent, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this video is spoken in Spanish. It was generated in Peru, but there's titles, so you'll be able to read the text, and I'll play it now. Are you able to hear the sound? Although you may not be able to understand this, it's in Spanish. On the first year, we would hope that the average income would increase by 15%. So right off the bat, right from the very beginning, it's projected to be a positive inflow of cash from these plans. New jobs would be created, jobs for young professionals. So we want to bring back the youth that's sort of disappearing. And lastly, the targeted participation of local women and youth. As I mentioned, the youth, but also women are very important. Let's see. Right. I'm going to close this now. I think I have shown you what I was wanted to show you. So let me go back to the screen. And I'll just mention a couple of more things that may be a little more related to fellowship in Rotary in general. And one is that we have been able to provide some management courses, either related to the E-Club or related to our professions. So we've had architects give presentations, and of course with the pandemic, everybody is able to sort of share from wherever they are, just like we are right now. You're in India, I'm in the States, we have some people in Mexico. So we're all sharing this environment from different places. And we do this on a weekly basis. We obviously can take advantage of all the other countries and all the other clubs, but also we like to give back. And we, for instance, I saw Mario Diaz was one of our members. I don't know if he's still on the screen, but he's given courses on economics, on accounting that have gone worldwide. So also we do have a Rotaract Youth Exchange Program. We had a student from Belgium stay with students in Peru, and then Peruvian students going to Belgium and Europe through the Rotaract Youth Act. There was also a lady on the screen, but I think she apologized because she was going to be presenting to you tonight, and that's Maria Isabel Rodriguez. Was unable to come because I believe she's boarding a plane just as we speak right now. She has a flight to catch, so she wasn't able to be with us tonight. But she has been a director in her region in Mexico for the Rotary Friendship Exchange. And I'm sure you'll be hearing more from her in the years to come. She is now a member of our club. She joined last year, so we're really, really happy to have her on board in our club. And lastly, I'd like to just recommend and invite you all, if you can, to come to Houston in summer of 22 for the international convention, the Rotary International Convention, which to me is a wonderful experience. I went to the one in Toronto and highly, highly recommend it, because you have people from all over the world with all kinds of opinions and options and thoughts. And it's a very rich environment to share. Well, I will stop there. I'm available for questions, and I'll try to answer those. And I'll leave the floor to you, to the panel here.
Thank you, Alex. It
You're
was
welcome.
indeed a lovely presentation about your club and the projects which are being undertaken by your club. It's a very noble cause. Congratulations, and our good wishes are with you. And
thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I would request President-elect Dr. Sanjay Kalra to propose a vote of thanks. Over to Sanjay Kalra ji.
Yes, good evening to you all, and good evening, the speaker of the day, Alex Maxim. I hope you remember me, Alex. We had this student, this exchange program, the virtual exchange program, a couple of years back when you were there. So it's nice to see you again, and of course, nice to see Isabel Rodriguez, Rosabella, George, Mario, and all these people who were associated with us during that cultural exchange. It was nice to hear your voice after so much time. Thank you so much. And I must again thank you on behalf of Rotary Club Chandigarh Midtown for giving us this eye-opening presentation where you have talked about how do you do the strategic planning before you start with the Rotary year, and you decide like what you have to do and how it is going to work. I especially during this COVID time, your project of educating the children who were indoors because of the pandemic, that's really nice. It was those things can always be taken as a reference for other countries, like in our country also. This project must have been a mammoth project, like where you have united the borders, sharing cultures. That must have taken quite an effort to coordinate with the 21 countries. Hats off to your E-Club Fusion Latina. I really appreciate your effort on that, and I really liked your this dairy processing plant, which comes under the Global Trans project, and the amount of income that the raise in income that has generated. You said 15%, which is quite a bit for the people who got involved in the project, and I'm sure it must have changed their life altogether. I was wishing I could reach there and have a bite of the cheese that those people are producing. Of course,
I will send you a wheel. I'll send you a wheel of cheese.
That'll be great. In fact, we let this COVID be over, and I'm sure we all are going to have this physical exchange from people from Mexico and Peru and all, because that is in line, and I'm sure we are going to see you all soon. And thank you so much again for this beautiful presentation. And I, on behalf of President Rotary Club Chandigarh Midtown and all the Rotarians of our club, would like to thank you from the core of my heart for your presence there, for being with us. And I hope we have such more exchange programs like we had before, and such presentations that you were saying that you keep doing these presentations, which are beneficial professionally also, like you are an architect, and you so if we can be part of that in some way, that will be very much beneficial to us, as well as that will build the goodwill and friendship amongst our countries. Thank you so much again, and see you soon.
Thank you, Sanjay, and thank you and your wife also for all the work, for inviting me. And on behalf of our club, Rotary E-Club Fusion Latina, we thank you very, very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you.